Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. We are back again with another big live stream. Arsenal have agreed to sign their first signing of the summer 2022. It is about to go down. It has started. And we've started off with a Brazilian winger from Sao Paulo, deal agreed. Arsenal have agreed a fee with Sao Paulo for Marquinos. We're gonna be giving you the details. I'm gonna be running through the details of this deal. The player will be signing a 5-year deal with Arsenal, as per the Sports Witness and as reported and confirmed by Charles Watts and Goal.com. Do me a huge favor, hit that like button for the first signing of the summer. Let's get this to 300 likes, right? Hit the like button and also make sure you subscribe to the Dem channel as well. A few changes will be made to the channel, and I'll be notifying you in a channel update video. I will be notifying you, but of course, in this one, let's talk about Marquinhos. What do we expect Arsenal to do with him, and what's really going to happen when he signs for Arsenal? Another winger, another Brazilian talent, 19 years of 19 years old, born in 2003. Edu and his Brazilian network. I mean, as long as it is not a cartel, it will definitely work for us. So we're going to be running through that. But I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who actually does tune in to the channel. Massively helps out when you guys do, tune into the channel. Big up to you, AK. Big up to you, Kenneth. Big up to you, Nasasira Nicholas. Big up to you, Richard Daikon. Yassine as well. Make sure you hit the like button and thank you for joining me once again. Why not? Let's get our party started. And here we are. Let's get the let's start off with the George Nicola's story that actually reported. And of course, I did talk about it yesterday that George Nicola, one of those journalists that are really now breaking the stories. You know, with the journalists, it's all about the sources you have, how big, how knowledgeable, and how true they are. So George Nicola again bringing another exclusive story around around Arsenal transfer targets, and this is what he said. George Nicola, Arsenal have completed their agreement with Marquinhos on the salary and the term of the contract and submitted an official offer of 3 million euros to Sao Paulo to complete the deal. Sao Paulo is forced to agree, although its real value is more than 5 times the offer. But the club is trying to persuade Arsenal to include a clause for a future sale, what you'd call a sell on clause. That is according to transfer journalist George Nicola. So, I mean, here we are, lads. Here we are. And these are two, in most cases, when I'm reporting, I report these as two very different stories. But this time we have it we have it as one. Personal terms have been agreed. There is a total agreement between Arsenal and the club regarding the personal terms of the player, and that is going to be 5-year deal, right? A 5-year deal. I've not seen the salary personally. I've not seen the salary, but according to Nicola, it has been agreed. And also we have a complete agreement now with Sao Paulo. Of course, look, this is the story. Fabrizio Romano reported about it that Arsenal actually wanted to take advantage of the situation because the player's contract runs down in 2023. 2024. So they didn't want to risk it. They didn't want to lose him on a free. So they decided to settle for only 3 million euros. Let's head over to Goal.com, written by Charles Watts, my man again, back in the columns. And they've said Arsenal agree a 3 million Marquinhos transfer as Ghana's closing on Sao Paulo attacker. More details written in this column. But of course, by far the best Arsenal journalist there is now, Charles Watts. It says the Brazilian teenager is expected to become Arsenal's first signing of the summer transfer window. According, Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign Brazilian winger Marquinhos. The Gunners have been holding extensive talks with Sao Paulo over the 19-year-old during the past week, and an agreement has now been fully reached. Final details still need to be sorted out before the deal can be concluded. But Marquinhos is now expected to be Arsenal's first signing of the transfer window. How much will Arsenal pay? Goal has been told that the fee for Marquinhos will be around £3 million, which is around 3.7 million dollars. Arsenal have taken advantage of a contract loophole to land the forward for such a low price, with Sao Paulo reluctantly having to accept the offer due to fears that he could leave for free despite his current deal not due to expire until 2024. Personal terms are not expected to be an issue. Let's begin from there, lads. Right? Let's give it a pause there. Personal terms not expected to be an issue. A deal has been agreed. Let's take a pause. Let's pause a little. So this is a deal that again Arsenal have done and have completed very, very fast. It just reminds me of that of that deal between Arsenal and Aaron Ramsdale. Yes, I know it did stall a little bit, but the moment we lost to Brentford, oh my God, we signed him. We definitely signed him there and then. And of course, it also reminds me of that deal of the backup goalkeeper from Brighton. I'm going to. Was it Matt Ryan? A deal that we did just out of the blue. So look, we have totally agreed the deal. €3 million for Marquinhos. He's a young player, 19 years of age, but you think with this Arsenal project, I don't think any player that signs for Arsenal between the ages of 18 and 19 or 20 is going to be thrown away. Now, according to the Sport Witness, Arsenal are prepared to let the player leave on loan, like we shall see in the subsequent stories. Arsenal are prepared to let the player leave on loan to a club probably in Spain. But for me, I am 100% not convinced that he will not be part of this project, especially given the fact that Arsenal need numbers and squad depth. Is he a good option in terms of squad depth? Definitely, I feel he is because he's 19-year-old that's not going to ask for a lot of game time. He can really work on that wing where Saka plays, and he can also work on that wing where Gabi Martinelli plays. So we are getting in another Brazilian. The Edu effect is actually working. So just to move over to the other details as reported by Goal.com, they're saying the kind of player Marquinhos is Marquinhos is a talented young forward who mainly operates as a winger, but can also play through the center. He is left-footed and is comfortable on either wing, although his preferred role is wide out on the right, so he can actually cut inside on his favored foot. He broke through into the Sao Paulo side as an 18-year-old, making his debut against Flamengo in July 2021. Right. What are Arsenal's plans for the player? Here it is listed. The Marquinhos is being signed as one for the future. Sources have confirmed to go, providing the deal goes through without any last hitches. He could be given an opportunity to work with the first team during the preseason. If he impresses, he could earn himself a place on the summer tour to the United States. His arrival will not have an impact on Arsenal's summer transfer plans, with the Gunners looking at bringing in 2 senior attackers. Right, there we are. I mean, first and foremost, it is a relief. I'm not going to lie, it's a relief, because with Arsenal, one thing that one thing that always scares you, we always mess up. So I was to some point scared that this could be a deal that comes in and then Arsenal go boom. We brought in Marquinhos, so we do not bring in Gabriel Jesus, or we brought in Gabriel Jesus and Marquinhos. Those are the 2 forwards. But according to Goal.com, we will not, our transfer summer plans are not affected. We are still going to get the two attackers that we want in the summer. That is where I can say, I mean, good, it's a good transfer. Yeah. That is when all of us can say, yeah, it's a good pick. It's a good transfer. Because look, if it doesn't affect us, if it doesn't affect our summer, a player of that age, 19 years of age, coming in at 3 million, that is huge talent. That is a very, very good, good value for money. Very good value for money. Because look, one, you can loan him out. You can loan him out probably to Celta Vigo, wherever you want to go, and then when he comes back, and you feel it's not going to play for you, you could sell him for something like 10, 15 million quid, right? That's a lot of profit. But also, I feel like he will, he will actually work for us now, because I've seen his style. I've seen him play on YouTube highlights. I shouldn't be saying that really, but I've not seen him play for Sao Paulo, but I've seen him in a few YouTube clips. And what he's like, he's more like that kind of Saka player. He plays predominantly on the right-hand side, and he loves to cut in onto the left foot. He literally, he's an inverted winger. That is how he loves to play. So Arsenal have agreed that deal. Personal terms agreed, not expected to be a problem. What is your reaction to that? Of course, I will be discussing Yuri Tillemans. I'll be discussing the other stories as time goes on, as we travel throughout the day. Make sure you always stick to the channel. But of course, Marquinos is a done deal. Our first signing of the summer is done. We are just waiting for the second one. I mean, I thought Gabriel Jesus was going to be our first signing of the summer. I'm not really very, very surprised that he isn't, because Arsenal always do that. But not really. I'm not really very disappointed. Not really very disappointed. Samuel says, okay. Otesam is, why not go for Rafinha from Leeds or Daniel James? He is also a good player. Listen also, Samuel, right? Let's not get this wrong. And I'm going to explain it again. He comes in as not even as a fringe player. Not even as a utility player, not even French. Sorry, French is not the word. Not as a utility player, but he's been signed just to be part of the squad, just to be part of the team. He's been scouted as a talent that Arsenal surely in the future will feel like he's got the minerals, he's got what it takes to play for this Arsenal side. But he's not been signed as a player who's eventually going to be Arsenal's starter, or a person who's going to be on the bench, unless he impresses beyond reasonable doubt. So with Daniel, and look, let's be honest, Daniel James to Arsenal, no. An absolute no. And this is my reasoning. Daniel James is a good player, not for Arsenal, not for Manchester United. Believe me, if a player cannot play in that Man United side, there is no way I take them at Arsenal, apart from Donny van der Beek, right? And with Donny van der Beek, it is purely non-footballing reasons as to why he's not in that team. Non-footballing reasons. But if a player is dropped from Manchester United, the likes of Maguire, the likes of Bissaka, the likes of whoever is dropped from Man United because of footballing reasons, I don't take him. Take them at Arsenal. So Daniel James for me coming in at Arsenal would be a utility player that would be just wasting money, and I pity Leeds because they splash a lot of money on him. Yes, he does really work the way the team works, and he fits their system very well. But I just pity them because they spent a lot of money on him, and now they have to go down. I don't know if they're going to get anyone who's going to buy him. Probably Everton. They always do those shitty signings, but I'm not convinced. So for me, Daniel James doesn't come close to Arsenal Football Club. I'm sorry, Daniel James, no. Rafinha, yeah, I hear you on that. I hear you, but Marquinos is not coming in to affect our transfer plans. So there is, unless we are being fooled here, Arsenal do that all the time. But if you're not being fooled, Goal.com have reported it very well that his arrival will not impact, and I just love the sound of that. I'll show you. Here it is highlighted. get this out of the way so that you can see that very well. Right. So there you are. It's highlighted very well. His arrival will not impact, right? His arrival will not impact on Arsenal's main summer transfer plans, with the Gunners looking at bringing in two senior attacking stars. So his arrival means nothing to either you bringing in Daniel James or bringing in Rafinha. So he's coming in just as one for the future. And I think, look, it's good to do such signings. Very, very good to do such signings. I mean, um, you never know. In the future, if it's a good sport, we could have ourselves another Gabriel Martinelli. So, look, it doesn't affect our summer. And I'll say that again, it does not affect our summer. So if you want Rafinha, who I would definitely take at Arsenal, then 100%. Okay, Bacon says Bukayo Saka, Premier League young player of the year. Bukayo Saka. Trent Alexander-Arnold has also been nominated for that award. Yeah, Trent has also been nominated for that award. Many people felt like it was a little bit uncalled for Trent to be nominated there. I don't know what you people think, but maybe many people think it was uncalled for. But look, when we talk about the young players, Premier League young player of the season, Saka gets a massive shout. He gets a massive shout. There is no question there. Yeah, I know. You're gonna have probably Conor Gallagher. If Trent is vying for that, then Conor Gallagher should be vying for that as well. So you're gonna have many players fighting for that. But Saka deserves a shout, right? If you want me to do a video about that, who gets the young player of the year in the Premier League, fine. I'll do that video on 99 Sport and I'll share it on the community here. But I'm telling you, lads, 100% Saka. I wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because Trent Alexander-Arnold, for me, wins it without fight. Right? He wins it without a fight. Trent is unbelievable. He's better than many midfielders at creating chances. Better than many midfielders at shot creating action. Is better than many midfielders in so many attacking options. So I think in so many attacking statistics. So definitely for me, Trent. I think he stands out. But of course, you have the likes of Phil Foden, who deserves a shout. Conor Gallagher as well. But Saka, definitely. I mean, it doesn't hurt. You give it to him because his solo performances and times that he has lifted Arsenal single-handedly as a player, there've been so many, and he's been remarkable. The ability to stay as consistent as he has been at that age is what makes him stand out, and the fact that there has not been any kind of rotation with Saka, whether he gets off the pitch injured, the next game he starts right away, and he's been able to create massive impact, game in, game out for Arsenal. So he deserves a massive shot. He deserves a massive shot. Kawasu Gite says, that's great to hear because a young player that can contribute a lot in our future. I'm sure the way he attacks is amazing. All right. Frank says we don't need such kind of players at Arsenal right now. We need Diaz kind of players, maybe title contenders players, because right now we have a lot of young players. I totally disagree with you. Frank, because look, the reason as to why we cannot sit on the same table here, Frank, you look at this Liverpool side, right? You look at this Liverpool side and you envy them and you want to be like them. But this is the Liverpool side that was not built in one day. And I've already said this and I will say it again. Liverpool have been built over time. 6 years, 7 years. They didn't get here, but they didn't sign Diaz 6 years ago. They signed him 6 years later. That is what we are trying to do. We're trying to lay the foundation, right? Right. So this one says Arnold excluded, then Saka wins the race. Yeah, probably. Probably. But of course, there is also there are massive shouts in there. By the way, I think there are massive shouts. Jacob Ramsey been absolutely outstanding. Yeah. It's been absolutely outstanding. Um. Nassasra Nicholas. I think. Look, Nassasra. Okay, I wouldn't say that. I won't say that. I'll leave it at that. What is the use of buying players who can't be used for the team now? That is not what we expect from Edu and Mikel Arteta. Listen, the transfer market works in this way, right? The transfer market works in this way. You buy players not only to start in the 11, like you're required to have a 25-man squad. 25-man squad, right? So literally, not everyone you buy is going to start for the 11. Surely you must know that. You surely, if you're watching this stream, you must know that because last summer we brought in Nuno Tavares, we brought in Albert Sambelekonga, and we also brought in Odegaard, White, and White, Odegaard are starting. Albert Sambelekonga and Nuno are backups. Why do you want to? Why do you want to tell me that you don't know the trend? You know the trend. You know how it works. Eka says this is slowly turning into Brazil FC. We need to get Anthony or Paqueta. Definitely, lads. By the way, I mean, we deserve to talk about that, don't we? We deserve to talk about that, don't we? Because look, if Gabriel Jesus comes in, we have Gabriel Magales, we have Gabriel Martinelli. Now we have signed in Vinicius Oliveira Marquinos. Brazil FC. Yeah, Brazil FC on the cards. Thanks for the great job you're doing. Thank you so much, John. Massively appreciated. Even if we qualify for the UEFA Champions, nothing Edu will bring to the team. He will end up deceiving us with useless players who can't add something to the squad. Right. A nice opinion. I'll keep it at that. Ahmed. Frank says, is this a huge signing? And high-profile signings we told by Arsenal. This is not a huge signing. This is not a high-profile signing. And I'll say that again. This is not a huge signing. This is not a high-profile signing. And who says every signing has to be high-profile? Not really. Not really. Not every signing is really going to be high-profile. Some signings are not going to be high-profile. Some signings are going to be low-key. As long as they're there. Look, if you lose Saka to an injury, who backs him up? Pepe. If Pepe leaves in the summer, who comes in? Marquinhos. Right? So not every signing has to be high profile. Okay. Let's see what some of you are saying still. Rajab says any team can buy the young players to slowly integrate them into the senior team. Merit the young lads to get to know the team. The team's tactics and culture. So here we go. Updates on Gabriel's injury. I'll be providing an update on Gabriel Magalhaes' injury, Richard. But look, great point from Rajab. I mean, you've got to bring in these young players so that you don't put. I mean, why we are struggling now? We literally, are putting lots of pressure on our young players. That's what we are doing. We are putting a lot of pressure on these young lads. They don't even deserve it. Honestly, they don't deserve it. But we are piling pressure and pressure and pressure on them. And it's unfair. 100%. It's unfair. Arsenal need to know, and Arsenal should be doing, what Arsenal should be doing is we should be relying on senior players. But I told you, against Tottenham, we were let down by our senior players. And how many were they on the pitch? Only 4 senior players. The rest of them, very, very young players. Edward says, I want to see the footage of the young lad. It's already there on YouTube. You can type in Marquinos Sao Paulo. That is the trend I've seen people use on YouTube. It's working. Otto Samuel says, bring Arthur Melo for me, please. In the midfield. All right. Eke says get Tillemans and Jesus to set the tone, and then go for Dybala. We need to show ambition. That's what we are lacking at the moment. Don't disagree. Absolutely don't disagree. But those signings will depend on whether we get Champions League or not. That is it. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button for me. Thanks everybody. So we have agreed a deal for Marquinhos. Make sure you do not mistake this Marquinhos with the Marquinhos at PSG. This is a 19-year-old Brazilian forward winger. He's been playing for Sao Paulo, and Arsenal have agreed to sign him. Speak to you soon.